Hey everybody, I'm Charlie from Swift Contractor's Corner. Today is December 28th, 21. Look, I did it. Okay, yeah, I cheated. I looked up on the screen and whatever. I don't even know what today is. I don't know what day yesterday was, what tomorrow is. I don't even care anymore. Whatever. We're here. And I say we, ready for this? Here we go. Look, it's not just me. It's me and
Hey,
Jeff. Whoop whoop from his new house in deep Canada up there in the white stuff. Holy crap, there's too much of it up there. What do you guys get, like 42 feet in the last 3 days or something like that?
no, it melted off, man. But before that, we had 3 feet
Oh my God.
that dropped in about 48 hours.
That's ridiculous, man. I mean, I guess it might be fun for a day or two, but then no, I'm good after that.
It's fun
That
till you got to dig your car out because you got to go to the store.
right? Oh my God, dude. I of course, so I'm sitting here and I just lost my other camera connection there, Jeff. So
Uh-oh.
give me a second to pop back in there because something wonderful happened. What are we going to talk about this week, Jeff? Just give us a quick. Hmm.
Uh, are you there?
Yep. Am
Okay.
I here? Yep. Sorry.
Well, Charlie wanted me to talk about this whole house buying fiasco and some of the mistakes I made in my books that made it harder than it needed to be. So we'll go over that. I just let you know ahead of time. The number one problem was finding a broker that understood the truck driving business and how our taxes work.
Yeah.
So,
From all accounts, this was not a fun process at all. Like
no,
not
it took me almost a full 2 months to close on the house after I put my bid in on it and it was accepted. So
Yeah. That sounds
normally
terrible.
that's a 30-day deal.
Hey Heather, good to see you. Nice that you're here. I'm assuming it's you and Andre, or is he sleeping? What's going on there? I don't know. Because sometimes Andre is Facebook user, but I don't see one of those yet. So cool. Glad you're here. Hey, you know what? Let's jump into this fuel surcharge report and we'll do the so we can get into the other stuff that we're supposed to do. Because I want to hear more about this mortgage stuff because yeah, it sounds like a damn nightmare to me. But hey, let's do this real quick. It'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. I don't know. Maybe it won't. Let's see. So this week's fuel surcharge, the national average went down 0.011 to 3.615 for the national diesel fuel cost average. That's like a lot to say. I don't even know. I struggle with that every time. The West Coast Pad 5 went down 0.01 to 4.371. That brings our fuel surcharge down 0.002 to 0.384. The West Coast stayed solid at 12 cents. If you guys are out there, get out there and kill it, man, because it's something special right now. Like I said, these last 2 weeks, I've never seen 12 cents before, and I think this is pretty awesome. And yeah, so look, we're done with that. That's easy. We're over it. Let's go back to this other stuff and see what's going on because I really want to hit this conversation. And we're gonna draw that headset for whoever won it today. And we're gonna draw that later on, probably right at the end of the show. So whoever is entered, you guys can win stuff, and yeah, it'll be fun. So here we are, Jeff, the man on the spot.
Hey, yeah, we're good. We're getting better at those graphics there, Charlie.
Right? Come on, man. I'm learning stuff. I feel all special. I'm like learning how to do these they're called stingers, sir. Stingers.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
You know. I read that somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, we got a couple people checking in. Look, someone named Facebook user has a big arm. Look at that. Thank you. We appreciate that. Glad you're here.
When do you get the time to work out like that, man? I want to know.
Right? Uh-oh. Heather's under the weather. You're exposed to COVID. Oh God, no. Heather, reach out to me after this. I want to talk to you about that because yeah, I want to make sure you guys get some actually, I can just throw it out here. Look, make sure you jump through all the hoops, okay? Because of your exposure to COVID, communicate with your driver leader. They have a little report that they need to fill out. If you fill that report out and go through all the hoops as if you were a company driver, okay, they will go back and average out, I believe it was 8 or 10 weeks or something like that of your last 8 week settlements, and then they will uh you're going to need to send them a copy of the COVID test that you took. So if you haven't done that, you need to do that. That's all part of the process. And what they will do is they'll pay you for your time off. I think up to 10 days from your settlement averages. So do that. So that, I mean, because look, you could be down for 10, you could be down for 20 days. So I mean, and it's not something they have to do. It's something they've been doing. So, but they're not really telling people about it. So make sure you get with me afterwards if none of that made sense. Dennis, glad to see you, buddy. We're glad you're here. Glad you've been you made it home for Christmas, man. I was pretty happy to see that because last I heard you weren't going to do it. So anyhow, all right, guys. So Jeff recently bought a house. This has been months going. It's been months and months of trying to sell a house and buy a house, and oh my God, it's been just. I think he's been closing for 6 months every day for the last 6 months. So that's the way I kept
Well,
hearing it.
well, we started the process in August, so yeah, that's almost
That's
half
like
a
a
year
year.
from start to finish.
Oh wait, it's only December. My bad.
Well, to put things in perspective, Charlie only works 3 months out of the year, so he thinks that's a year.
Right,
But
right.
but yeah, so some things that I learned along the way, though, our taxes, because we try to obviously minimize our tax exposure, we make at least a third more than what the IRS thinks we do.
At least.
I mean, by the time you count per diem, as long if you're out as much as I am, like last year, my per diem was $15,000, right off the top of my adjusted gross income. So if you're making 60, that puts you at 45. Then you got other deductions. Right now, because I own the truck outright, I've got depreciation on $60,000 worth of asset.
Right.
And although this is my last year of doing that, that was another $20,000 tax deduction from last year. So the IRS thinks I made right around $20,000 a year last year.
Right. Poverty line.
And so I'm poor, I'm destitute. I qualify for Obamacare this year. But here's the thing is that mortgage underwriters, that's what they make their decision based on is your taxes.
Right.
You can do, and a lot of mortgage brokers, which I always recommend you use a broker. Don't just go to your local bank because you're not going to get the best interest rates.
Right.
You always go through a broker because they go to work for you. So I was working with one broker, and basically after he saw my taxes, I couldn't get him to return my phone calls. Because basically right now, the way things are is the housing market is so hot. Why would they spend the time to help a guy like me when they can close 5 mortgages that week?
Exactly. You're too much work, Jeff.
Yeah.
And you only make 20 grand. So,
Right. So I found a guy, and his mantra was, and I know how this sounds, but I looked into the guy. He's not a snake or anything, but he's a guy out of Draper, Utah. And he kept on telling me, Jeff, what we need to do is we need to think outside the box within the law, outside the
Right.
box within the law. So he kind of specializes in people like us, people that are self-employed, have wonky tax returns,
Right.
and he got it done. It took 2 months, but he got it done. One of the things too, because I know we've got a lot of veterans out there. So I've always used my VA benefit for my mortgages in the past. There's an issue with that right now, and it might just be Utah. I don't know, because the Utah market is like vertical right now,
Right.
as far as housing values go. So I was all set for I got my Nobi all established because I haven't done a mortgage in years, so I needed a new Nobi because I lost mine. Got all that squared away, got turned in, and the VA is like, okay, cool, you're good to go. They went out to assess the house, and the assessor gave it undervalued it by $50,000,
Really?
which means that the government would not take the risk on that loan. The problem with that is I bid $1,000 more than asking, out of just because that's the way the market is. You got to bid
Right.
more than they're asking, and that's fair market value, man, in Utah right now.
Yeah.
should I say what the cost of it was, Charlie, or do we not want to do that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
So
your call, man.
so I bought the house for 365. The VA evaluated it at $50,000 less. Which here's the thing: 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, the house probably was worth 310.
Right. But
But
then it
not.
blew up.
But then it blew up, and the VA. And I've been talking to other people, and it's not just me this happened to.
Right.
So part of the reason why it took so long, Charlie, is I had to go switch over from a VA loan to a VA FHA loan. So I
Right.
had to start the loan process all over again because the VA
Oh
and
my God.
Charlie, whenever I say the VA, Charlie's head explodes because
Yeah.
he knows the VA more better than I do.
I deal with him all the time because that's where my insurance comes from.
Right. So I had the snafu with the VA. And so then I had to switch over and redo the whole process again. Luckily, I had a lender that really, not a lender, a seller that was really motivated
Right.
and didn't want to have to put her house back on the market.
Right. Oh my God.
So they worked with us a bit on this. Because normally, if you guys have bought houses before, if you don't close in 30 days, that house is going back on the market. The seller says, up yours. You can't get a loan. I'm going to find someone else to buy my house.
Right.
That didn't happen in this case. So I'm very, very fortunate about that. So an FHA loan requires 5% down
That's
to
not bad.
buy that way. So it wasn't too bad. 23 grand down on the house.
Right.
So one of the things that happened though, and Charlie and I don't exactly plug ATBS, but I got to give credit where credit is due. I've been using them for 14 years, mainly because I don't care that much to shop around.
Right. And they're just there. It's so easy
they're
for
just
us.
they're just there. It's easy. Well, so I'm working with my lender, and by the way, he calls himself Lender Lance, just to give you an idea of what this guy's personality must be like. Larger than life. He's a salesman, that's for sure. So
Right.
I got on a conference with my ATBS guy and Lender Lance, and let me tell you, these guys, once they understood what my lender needed, they were like, "Oh yeah, we could totally get those reports for you. Where do you want them sent?"
Right.
So something that I was really, really frustrated about because I had ATBS there and my lender there, and I could do the conference call. It just got done.
Right.
So even if whoever does your taxes, I mean, if you're going to go through this process of buying a house, make sure you call them and let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. Can we, once I get a lender lined up, can we get on the phone so we can make sure they get everything they need to get this loan done? It just makes it so much easier because trying to find the reports yourself kind of stinks.
Right.
I mean, they're there, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But let them earn their money.
I get a thumb drive every year with my tax stuff on it.
Right.
That's in my fireproof safe, but I don't even know how to read it. So and also, I was talking to another owner recently about, he wanted to know how to get some stuff for his mortgage. And I'm like, well, whoever does your taxes. And he indicated to me that he doesn't do monthly books. And I got to tell you guys, especially if your goal is to buy a house, make sure that for the next 2 years you're doing your monthly books.
Yeah, you really got to have that line by line, month by month. They want to see those numbers.
And in my case, once I converted to the FHA, they were asking me for my year-to-date profits like every other week.
Right.
To make sure I was still working, for one thing.
Yeah. Right.
But to make sure that I was still on track for what they wanted me to make to write this loan.
Right.
So the weekly and monthly books are really important if you're gonna do something with a lot of money. I don't borrow money for cars, so I don't know if it's the same thing with cars, trying to get a loan for those. But the more data you have on your business, the better.
This is one of those things, though, because Jeff is switching over to an LLC this year because he paid the truck off, so his income's going to change. And this is one of the things that I can tell you, having been an LLC for so long at this point, I'm a W-2 employee.
Mm-hmm.
So when I, like my last pickup truck loan, I walked in with my W-2, here you go. And didn't even include the back end of the business stuff because my W-2, income shows more than enough for me to get a loan of that nature. it would limit the amount that we could borrow if we were doing a mortgage on a house or something like that. Because it would be, if I did it that way, just went off the W-2s. But it would probably be a big nightmare to be like, okay, well, here's my W-2, here's Rosie's W-2. Oh yeah, and here's the business taxes as well. And it's just, oh my God, it just hurts my head.
Well, let me educate you a little bit
Yes,
here,
sir.
because I asked about that when I was going through this process.
Hmm.
If you are an LLC and you're paying yourself on a W-2, the first round of decision making does happen with that W-2. So what you're going to want to do is, let's say you want a $365,000 house. In order to buy a $365,000 house, you've got to be able to show at least $50,000 a year in income for the last 2 years.
Right.
That's where it starts. But then they say, oh, you own this business. Now we want to see how much money you have in the business itself.
Right.
So I would have to open my books up for the business as well.
Right.
And that's the second thing is, so like if you're doing the traditional putting 20% down on the house, right? Which I didn't do because I'm an idiot and I don't save money as well as I should. But let's say that you did have, the $50,000-$60,000 to put down on a house to avoid all the other unnecessary things. And you're going to pull that out of your business, right? They want a notarized statement from your accountant saying that taking that money out of your business would not put you out of business.
Right.
That's how serious they are about that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things like Charlie and I have been talking about as I've gone through this journey on the LLC. Now, how do I get money out of the business without embezzling funds from my own company?
Right.
And that's kind of what they're concerned about, the banks.
Right.
Are you embezzling money from your firm to pay for this personal house, or is it legitimately you're going to write yourself a check as a benefit?
Yep.
And they want to make sure the
Bonus
accounting's
draw.
right, because they want it to be all above board, because they'll get in trouble too.
Right.
So.
Yeah. See, that's why we pull a draw on a monthly basis at least, so that after our W-2 wages are paid, the remaining balance that is unused or undesignated for taxes and that sort of thing is removed as a draw. So that's how that's worded. It's an accounting thing, whatever. It seems to work.
Right. And we'll probably be talking more about this LLC thing as I go through the process, because you guys should be noticing a theme here. We tend to talk about things that we recently did,
right?
So that we could talk about some of the things that we might not have known when we started the project.
Yeah, there's pitfalls in everything that we do.
Yeah.
There's little snafu situations, and you're like, oh crap, wait, let's share that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So yeah, it's fun. That's one of the reasons why Charlie and I are in business, is to deal with this crap that gives other people headaches.
Right. Everybody's like, what's wrong with you, man? I'm like, dude, numbers are great. They're like, whatever.
Yeah. So that's my experience. Was not great, but we accomplished the goal that we wanted to accomplish in the end.
It definitely took longer than you first anticipated. That's for sure.
And I also think too that when you guys shop for a mortgage broker, which again, I will never, I'll put my foot about that. If any of you guys private message me and tell me you're going through Wells Fargo Bank, I'm just going to shake my head at you.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun with that. My sister did that, and I shake my head at her, and she's family.
Right.
Use a broker, because they got the ability to go out and shop like 100 different lending institutions.
Yep. And
so to give you an idea,
fighting for your interest rates and all that.
Right. I mean, I ended up with a 2.5% interest rate, man.
Oh, nice.
And the bank I bank with, Zions Bank, which is a Utah bank, they're advertising 2.8.
Right.
So I did pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt. Plus it was only 5% down. So I mean, really.
Right. So and so the really uncomfortable part for me is I had to get to trust this. I had to get to a point where I trusted this guy, because I got to tell you, man, I told him at one point, I said, the problem I'm having, Lance, is that
that's it. My bad.
That I'm not in control here. I don't know what the hell you're doing, man. You're telling me it's going to be all right, but we're supposed to close next week and I don't see it.
Right? Yeah. Like, dude, I don't know.
But you got it done. So a lot of weird questions they asked me that I didn't understand. I just said, whatever, here's the documentation.
Right
So
here,
you gotta find a
find the number
guy
you
that
need.
you trust, because it'll feel a little on the edge.
Right.
Like my wife was kind of wigging out over some of the things he was talking about doing to get us this house. Like, is that even legal? And I'm like, well, let's look into it. And yeah, it's legal.
Right.
But they'll be doing stuff for you that you just don't understand,
But
and you
that's the
just
thing.
gotta.
That's why you hire professionals to do the
Mhm.
things that you don't. That's not your profession. I mean, isn't that why we hire accountants? Isn't that why we hire a lawyer to read it? Over these contracts and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. So we're in the house now. Now we just need to furnish it.
right? Put a picture
So
behind you there, maybe. I don't know, big
yeah,
family
well,
portrait or something done in black velvet and oil.
get a velvet Elvis back there.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Good God, that's what we need right
Little
there.
little dogs playing poker.
Yes, side by side with the velvet Elvis, poker dogs on each side and a velvet Elvis in the center. Oh my God, that's my dream wall right there.
Yeah,
Well, after my airborne wall.
my wife would make sure I slept in the truck more often than I already do.
Look, I'm gonna have to tell you, if I may just go out and find these paintings myself and mail them there, and then have you run live video as you hang them up, and she walks in and sees them for the first time. I'm telling you, that's YouTube gold, sir, and we're gonna have to do it.
All right.
But so with the way this all went down, I mean, there was a lot of headaches. You guys just don't even know. Like Jeff and I were talking. We texted more than we talked, and I could tell in his text that his stress level was way, way, way up at one point. And I'm just like, hey man, I dig you. Keep at it, buddy. Remember, good things. You got to get through those resistance points, right? Because
Yep.
good things come after that resistance. You got to keep pushing when business is tough, and you seem like, I can't get past this wall. I can't get past this one, goal in business. You got to keep working towards that goal. Keep working toward it. It's called resistance, and when you break the resistance, wonderful things happen. And just wonderful thing is now he's got a house in Canada up there in like 37 feet of snow sitting on top of a
Utah.
mountaintop. I'm sure. Yeah, it's the
It's
same thing.
Utah.
That's just mid Canada, whatever. But and so but that's where a lot of people we've seen it. We see it in the groups. We see it in trucking. We see it in life. We see it everywhere. People meet resistance and they quit. They give up. Oh, it must not be for me. It's not going to happen. And I got to tell you, I would have struggled to be in the position you've been in for the last couple months, because there's a couple times where I'm like, I don't even know why the hell he's still doing this. This is crazy. I'd be out. I'm gonna buy me a single wide and be happy.
Well, I burned the ships. Is what I
Right?
did. Sold
Yeah.
my house in Oregon, and I moved into my best friend's basement and started looking for a house.
Right. You know
So
what?
we totally burned the ship. So when you put yourself in that position where you
Exactly.
have no choice, you just kind of do what you need to do to get things done.
Right.
And I think everybody, if you've been in the business for more than about 5 years, you've come to at least one time where that's been the case, where you've just like, what else am I going to do?
Exactly.
You know, for me, I always tell people that I've done pretty good for a guy with half a degree,
Right.
because that's what I have. I have half a degree in literary studies, for crying out loud. So that's a double no right there. But a guy like me, almost 50, what would I do?
Right.
I've gotten good at the trucking business. I've gotten to the point to where I've got a paid for asset that makes money.
Exactly.
Am I going to quit now and try and go do something else? No, man. I'm too far into the game.
Right.
So in more than one way, I burn almost all my ships.
Yep.
I don't burn bridges.
Right.
Never burn a
No,
bridge.
not bridges.
But ships, you can burn a
That's
ship.
right. And the good thing about boating accidents is your guns can disappear in those boating accidents. Never mind, that's a different conversation. So, Facebook user here says that they're using Veterans United, and I can tell you, I dealt with Veterans United like 7 years ago. good company then. I really dug them. There was a lot of support from those people, and I ended up not buying the property that we were trying to buy at the time. But they were, I mean, like they were super attentive. Those guys were great, man, and I was amazed at how well that they were. I mean, handling the whole process. And they're like, you know, you want to go FHA, you want to go VA, we got your back. We're gonna help you out. We're gonna make it all happen. And then it was just the deal fell through. The financing was there. It's just the deal with it was a probate thing on this huge chunk of property, but.
Yeah, that's the thing with them is that they are technically a mortgage broker as well.
Yeah.
I get their mail because I'm a vet. You know, Veterans United will help you refinance, we'll help you buy a house, whatever.
Right.
But here's the thing: there's a key there that Charlie mentioned that I really did like about them when I did contact them, even though I didn't use them, was they were talking about doing an analysis to figure out, is the VA loan really the best thing for you? Because what a lot of lenders won't tell you is that the VA loan has what's called a funding fee.
Right.
And it's a lot of money. So on my last house I bought 18 years ago with a value of 125, and the funding fee on that thing was $6,000.
Right. That's a big
And
chunk
here's
out
the
of
thing. You don't, unless you know that that's there, you don't know it's there until the end of the loan. It gets tacked on to the end.
Right.
That's what I found out. So it's just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the balloon payment on our trucks. When you call your lender to ask what the payoff amount is, like on this house, I thought it was $90,000.
Right.
After making payments that long. Nope, it was $96,000 because of that freaking funding fee.
Right. Right. And it's crazy. You're like,
so when you're selling it for 190, you were expecting to get like $110,000 profit. Nope.
Yep.
So you can avoid that funding fee by going FHA, but an FHA also has primary mortgage insurance.
Right.
So it's almost to me like you either pay it up front or you're paid at the end.
Right.
Between the two.
Everybody's getting their blood. Trust me, they're gonna get it.
Right. So it's interesting. I told my realtors on both ends because, you know, when you move to a different state, you can't use the same realtor. But, you know, I could not do what they do for a living.
Oh my God.
Yes. No. You know, they're trying to help a guy like me find a house or sell a house, one of the two.
It's too much patience. I don't have it.
You know, they get paid a commission on the sale. They don't get paid unless they sell houses.
Right.
And they're watching a guy like me where they're like, good God, when's this thing gonna close?
Right.
You know. So.
Oh my gosh. Hey, just so you guys know, we are going to draw that headset here in a few minutes when we get close to wrapping this up. So if you're here for that, it's coming. Don't worry. Rosie's going to be coming in here in a minute, and we'll be getting to that. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. It's awesome. I dig that you're here every week. If you guys have any questions, throw them up. We'll get to them. And if not, if you have any more questions for Jeff on this mortgage thing, and Heather, I saw a comment.
Yeah, she's confused on practice.
Yeah, confused on doing taxes because I'm really bad at keeping receipts. If you're using ATBS, you can just scan those from your phone as soon as you get them, right into the app. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
yes,
I don't use the app, so I'm old school.
That's what I do. Shit. Now that they have an app that actually works. For a while there, it was kind of iffy, and I just sent my paperwork in once a month like everybody else in the envelope.
Right.
But with the app, what's cool is that you take the picture of it. It's just like scanning your trips for your
it's like the transfer stuff, and
and you can open the app and it'll show you which ones have been transmitted, which ones have been looked at, which ones have been accounted for.
Right.
And if you're going to use them, you need to have all your receipts in by about the 5th of the month for the previous month, because they print your profit and loss reports around the 15th.
Right.
You want everything in there. And profit and loss reports, that's something that Charlie and I have discussed. We need to go over with you guys. She says she's not using ATBS, but probably will this year. You know, it's up to you. Again, I'm not going to endorse a company like that. I can tell you that there are other options. I know of one that's a lot cheaper, but you have to do the accounting yourself.
Right.
And you have to find a tax professional to do the taxes, which, you know, ATBS will just do the taxes for you if you give them all of your profit and loss for the year. I don't know what it costs to have them do that, but
Heather, on that question, I'll give you a general answer. And the reason I'm going to give you a general answer is because I don't want to hear it if someone says, oh, that's not right. Yes, it's wrong, whatever. And the IRS comes to audit you. But legitimate business expenses, things that you need to purchase or pay for your business, should be taken as legitimate write-offs on taxes. Don't buy things just for a write-off, because there are people out there that do that. And I'm going to say it out loud. It's stupid. So you don't, if you go spend $1,000 on a magic whatever widget because, I need the write-off. Well, you spend $1,000 and basically 33% of that is what your write-off and comes down to. So you spend $666 to save $333 on your taxable income. You wasted $600 on something you didn't need. Why would you do that? So I'm just going to keep that up there.
Yeah, and if you wanted to learn to do your own taxes, I know that QuickBooks has a lot of stuff that you can, a lot of free seminars and stuff on that if you sign up for them. But Charlie, you use QuickBooks for some of your business.
Hey, I do my payroll through it.
What's the monthly on that?
It's stupid expensive for what I get. It's like around $50 a month. It's not really that expensive, but it's $50 a month for my payroll.
Okay.
I actually need to go in and adjust that because, yeah, I got to make an adjustment. You're right. I just thought about that, but it'll be about $50.
So the thing with receipts too is you don't need to save receipts for food. Okay, so this one just kind of makes my head hurt a little bit. You don't need to save receipts for food because we get a standard write-off called per diem,
right,
for every day that you're not in your home zip code. And it just went up again, and I don't even know what it is because I have people that do all that.
Exactly.
But it's more than $60 a day now. So unless you're buying more than $60 a day in food, take the standard deduction on that.
Right.
I mean, like I said, last year my per diem alone was a $15,000 some odd dollar deduction, right? And so you make 65, let's say,
right,
and so you pay taxes on 50.
Keep track of the day you go home. Keep track of the day you go out. Keep track of all of your solid days. How do I do that? I got logs.
I use the app.
There you go.
But yeah, that's the other thing too, is that though, if you ever get audited, you need to have some proof that you're actually out on the road. And this is something that I'm terrible at. I really am. I keep all my bills of lading for about the last 5 years though. So that would work as well. Although the tax man would probably slap my hands just for the pain in the ass factor on that. So I can't prove that I was gone.
Heather, people like that at some point, just because they haven't been caught yet, doesn't mean that they won't at some point. I'm going to say that if you're buying useless equipment and writing off as a deduction, he doesn't need 12 fly swatters. You know why? He's only getting credit, or he or she is only getting credit for 33% of that item that they paid for.
And that's assuming that that's what your tax bracket is.
Right.
Again, because I always told my students when I was mentoring, and this was way back in the before times, okay, when company drivers could claim per diem as well.
Right.
Basically, per diem will drop an average person one tax bracket.
Right.
If you're actually working, like a lot of us do, it'll drop me a full tax bracket, which is cool.
Yeah.
So.
Except when you're trying to get a mortgage. Oh.
Yeah. Well, we dealt with that. So Dennis Lewis has something up there about him losing his radiator hose. I actually saw that on Facebook yesterday.
Where'd it go? I lost it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the top.
Oh, there it is. My bad.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you're talking about the resistance factor here. I saw this on Facebook yesterday that you had lost your lower radiator hose, and that actually happened to me. Oh, probably about 10 years ago. Right outside of Albuquerque, no less, in the summertime at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. I did one on I-5 on the hill coming out of the first big hill heading south in Oregon. I can't remember what town that is. I got halfway up that damn hill in the snow and blew the bottom radiator hose on my brand new International. I was 10 gallons of, you know how expensive 10 gallons of coolant is on the side of the road?
Yes.
Holy mother of all things that aren't right. I'm just going to throw that out there. Although, I'm going to share a weird little fun note here. The last time I was in Oregon, and so we're talking 10 years ago, Rosie was with me, and we built a snowman on top of a boulder. Okay. And we used rocks as different parts of this thing. And as that snowman melted, those rocks stacked on each other. So there is a big boulder out there. And the last time I drove that road, those rocks were still there. And there was a pair of gloves laying on top of the big boulder. And this was like 6 years after we had done that. I thought that was kind of neat. I'm sorry. I digress. Back to you, Jeff. I apologize.
Oh, I was gonna say I got lucky on mine because I was only 10 miles away from the terminal.
Oh,
So they just sent a guy out with a hose, and apparently Dennis had to have his whole radiator replaced. Luckily, that did not happen to me.
oh my God. That sucks.
Although I have had that happen, not in that particular instance.
Yeah, I think the last one I did was in Cheyenne at the Sat Brothers, as a matter of fact. That sucked. It was not pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these things that happen when we're out on the road, and Charlie and I we'll call each other and say, "Man, this sucks." We'll even swear.
Right. Oh,
Which
yeah.
we're not. We'll be like, "Ah, rah, rah, rah,"
Bleep,
But you know what?
bleep.
When it's all over, we'll talk again. We're like, "Yeah, that sucked, but man, what a day!"
Right. Yeah. That was okay. Hey, it
We
worked
got
out pretty good.
we got the problem solved. We're good.
And now I got a new radiator or insert whatever part it is now,
Heather's still going on taxes. Question: how will our taxes work since it all comes in my name?
Well, you're the
Does she
business
team
owner.
with? Does she
Yeah.
team with her husband or something?
Yep. Andre is her partner, and she is listed as the main lessee. So, but if you guys are, because you guys just got married, you'll be filing joint tax returns maybe this year. If not, you look into it. Sometimes there's a benefit to it, sometimes there isn't. It may not be a benefit. So make sure you talk with your tax people and find out which way is the better way to do it, whether you guys file joint or separate this year. I would bet that from this point on, you'll probably do better filing filing a joint return. I can't even think of the word right now. But yeah, the main responsibility does fall on you because you are technically the business owner. You are driver one on your lease. In fact, I'm guessing Andre's name is not on the lease at all. So there you go. You're the boss.
So there's other questions that we can't get into because we're not financial advisors.
Right. Dangerous ground.
Dangerous ground because we don't want to give you advice and end up having it be wrong and someone goes to jail and it might be us.
Right.
That's the thing that's the thing is with this financial stuff, when you're a business owner, I know we never really talk about it. It's just in the background all the time, but this is go to jail stuff if we don't do things right with our finances. I have one of those friends that's one of those anti-tax people, so he only pays his taxes like every 5 years or whatever he does. And I just had to remind him, Wesley Snipes with his millions and millions of dollars and his really highfalutin lawyers, did prison time for tax evasion.
Yeah, he did 2 years, didn't he? A year or two, I think.
It was like 2. So make sure you're talking to a licensed professional on tax stuff.
Right. Get good advice from people who know that. This goes back. Hire the right professionals to do the stuff that's important to you.
And, again, without an actual endorsement, I always tell new owners, just sign up for ATBS for the first year.
At least, right.
Because they will make sure that you do not do anything that is going to get you in trouble. Right. And then you can decide, maybe you found someone with a sharper pencil, or whatever. But initially, you need to have some sort of tax service, somebody that's there that you can call up and say, "Hey, well, how do we do this?" Because I don't want to give advice, but I'm thinking that her husband should be an employee of the company.
Right.
That's how those taxes should be happening.
Right.
Because how's he getting paid? How is he going to report that income to the IRS if it's all coming in Heather's name?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
So
Because you
I would
can't
be, I would
1099 him
be,
legally, by the way. I mean, there's going to be people out here that will tell you that, oh yeah, just 1099 your co-driver, whether you're married or not. Doesn't just 1099 him and let him deal with his own taxes and all that BS. Look, I'm telling you, that's another thing that the IRS doesn't bust a lot of people on. But when you're the one they catch doing it, it's expensive and it's going to hurt your pocket and it could put you out of business. I mean, it legitimately could put you out of business.
mm-hmm. Yeah, if you hear those commercials like on the XM for those whatever tax people that supposedly get you out of tax problems,
Right.
most of their little testimonials are people that got in trouble with payroll taxes.
Right.
That's why they're in trouble.
Right.
And that's something that you know, I know that it's the industry standard still to this day to 1099 your employees, but it's not right.
Right. From a
Regardless
legal
of the
standpoint,
law,
it's wrong.
regardless of the legal standpoint, though, and Charlie and I have talked about this over the last few years. So if I buy another truck and I put Charlie in my truck and I pay him on 1099, I'm screwing him because he has to pay all of the FICA tax himself as a 1099 person.
Right.
I'm supposed to pay half of that as his employer. So even from a moral standpoint, I couldn't do it. That's one of the reasons why I never bought more trucks, Charlie, is because I couldn't wrap my mind around the taxes for employees.
Right. And that's why everyone that all of my drivers have always been W-2 employees. And it was from day one of me doing that, even when I was still a 1099. So here's the thing, Heather. It's going to be difficult for you. How are you paying him now? Is he a W-2 employee, or how are you deciding how to pay him right now? Like, do you cut him a paycheck, or do you guys just pull money out of the same bank account? I mean, because those things matter and they make a difference. And I'm actually going to say we should probably not get deep into this right here, right now. And that you and I and maybe Jeff should talk further about this on a different
Yeah,
venue.
either on a phone call or
Right.
through PM or something. When I'm dealing with stuff like this, by the way, I do prefer instant messenger. And
Right.
the reason for that is because if I don't know what I'm talking about and you're asking me questions live on the phone and I don't
Right.
have an answer for you, if I had that little bit of wiggle room to do some research
Right.
and get back to you in a timely manner, it's much better to do it
Yeah,
that way.
we can research and get much better answers that way. So we're not telling you, oh, do this. And then we're like, oh, crap, that was wrong. My bad. Wait, don't do that.
Yeah.
That was wrong. Don't do that. Oh, my God. But
By the
hey,
way,
guys,
that's how my wife and I argue when I'm on
right?
the road. We do it over
Uh,
text so that we're not saying stupid stuff that we can't take back.
right? That's good, though. That's smart. Text it. And then you're like, oh, man. And then you know what? Half the time, I bet you catch yourself halfway through before you send something. You're like, oh, don't say that.
Sometimes I do.
Right? Yeah. That's great. But hey, guys, if you got any other questions, throw them up. If not, we're going to grab this drawing here pretty quick, unless Jeff has anything else that he wants to get deeper into, and then we'll go. But we're coming up on 43 minutes. We thank you guys for being here. I see people are here. There's people watching and they're commenting, and we dig it. And we are extremely thankful for you guys in showing up every week and being a part of this and helping us grow. And, since 2 weeks ago, we've increased by another 25 or 40% or something like that, our subscribers. So thank you guys.
Nice.
And I know some people don't think this is a great headset, but hey, you know what? It's a free headset. So if you
That's
got your
right.
name in the drawing for it, there are only 22 of you, so you got a 1 in 22 shot. And but yeah, I mean, so like I said, if you got any more questions, go ahead and throw them up. If not, let's get to this other. Let's figure out who the heck's gonna. Heather, let me get back to you in a day or so, if that's okay. Nothing's gonna change today, I promise you. But I got some stuff that I got to do later on today. You know what? The fact of the matter is, I need to clean a bunch of guns because I had some problems today, and with one of my guns, and it really upset me. And it turns out it's because I haven't cleaned the thing, and I really need to get it. And if I don't do it right after this, I'm not going to do it for another 3 months. And Rosie's pointing at me like this right now. So, yeah, I will get back to you. I promise. And you know what? If I don't call you. What are we doing tomorrow? We got the baby's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we go back to work Thursday. So Thursday or Friday. If you don't hear from me Friday, call me on Friday, and we'll start working in the right direction. Hey, Craig, good to see you, buddy. All right, so Jeff, what do you think? Should we get this drawing thing going on or what?
Bring out Rosie, aka Vanna White.
All right, here we go. Let me change some views here. We're gonna start. I gotta throw this one up here. We're gonna add that. I'm gonna make that the main camera. I guess I should turn that camera on. So
There's
here
your
we
tower.
go. Hey, look, that's my pretty computer. Whoop, whoop. I'm on Wi-Fi here, guys, so I apologize. It might be a little jerky. But so here are all the names. Everybody who was in that drawing, I put your name on the back of a domino and taped it on there. All those dominoes are going into this wonderful envelope if this thing stops freezing. Oh, we got a little freezing problem. We got some technical issues here. Hang on. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me try turning that off. We'll turn it back on. Whoa, that's a crazy picture. That was something special. I don't know what the heck's going on. Something's broken. I broke it. I don't even know what to do right now. It's not working. It's not doing what I wanted to do. I don't even understand. I broke it. You know what? The hell with it. We're gonna drop this camera. Oh my gosh. What is happening? Technology is failing me, people. I killed that. What is that? That looks very odd. I don't even know what's happening here. This is live video, y'all. You know what? The heck with this stupid thing. We're just gonna I'm gonna dump that video and we're just gonna come back here.
Yeah. Your top camera. Just move it this way. So
Really? Because on my screen everything is frozen.
It wasn't freezing at all on my end.
Are you
either.
kidding me?
What?
Nope.
Oh geez. All right. They said it was all working. All right.
Okay.
Oh geez. And then wait. And then I broke it again. Wait, here we go.
There you go.
Learn how to use technology, y'all. All right, so there's all the names.
He's our producer too.
My screen. There we go. There's all the names. Throw them in the envelope, babe. Look, there's baby. Hey, baby. Oh, look, that's a terrible frozen screen on my screen. She's throwing them in there. I hope you guys can see this mess because it looks like, oh, look, I see it live happening there. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine on my end.
All right, close it up. Shake it up. Now, don't look inside. Don't look inside.
Okay.
Open it up. Reach in there. Pull one out. What's the name? It says Lexi Wolf. Lexi Wolf. Wait.
Yep.
There we go.
I see it.
Lexi Wolf. And that is Alexia Richardson. I just happen to know that one off the top of my head because I remember. So, Alexia, you're probably not watching. That's cool, whatever. But you know what? I'm going to reach out to you and we will get that sent to you. And that's awesome. And you know what? Seriously, guys, I want to thank you guys for being with us and putting up with our shenanigans and all that kind of stuff. You guys are awesome. We truly appreciate you guys. And like I say every week, you know, we got to take care of each other. Yeah, you got to take care. We got to take care of each other. And remember, no one's out here looking after us but us. So let's try and keep our community strong. Keep ourselves learning and you know, by all means, if you got ways to do better things, let us know. We'd love to share it. We love to learn every day. At least I do. Jeff, I don't know. He's kind of old. You know, it's that old dog, new trick thing. I don't know.
Yeah. But we'll talk about age another time.
Right. My bad. But hey, guys, once again, thank you guys for doing this. I actually have another giveaway that I want to do in the fairly near future. And I'm not going to get into that until we get closer to it. But yeah, it'll be cool. Oh, Rosie told me. Shh. But once again, guys, we dig you. Jeff, you got any final comments?
No, just keep on keeping on. You know, when you hit these resistance points, just know that it gets better on the other side every single time.
That's right. There's greatness on the other side. Wait, there's greatness on the other side of resistance. I don't even know how to move my finger. I'm backwards, whatever. But guys, thanks again. We will be back next Tuesday at 6 p.m. I think. Wait. You know what? I'm gonna look at a calendar because I'm actually not sure about that one. Is Monday a holiday? Monday
No.
the 3rd? No, since
The
the
first
was.
is, so
Okay,
it should be
so-
on Friday. It's when they observe it.
All right. Just on the off chance that Monday's the holiday, the show will be on Wednesday, the 5th. If not, we'll be here next month, January 4th at 6 p.m. Once again, guys, we dig that you're here. I love that you guys come and hang out with us, and I can't believe that you put up with us, honestly, God. But I'm Charlie, Swift Contractor's Corner. That's Jeff over there. And thank you, guys. We'll see you next week on Swift Contractor's Corner. Be good. Be safe.